So Arkansas State comes into the shoe today for a noon kickoff. Obviously not nearly as electric as it was last Saturday night against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And Ohio State comes in at 42 or 44.5 point favorites.
Right.
Second week in a row, they do not cover, but we don't care about that unless you got a couple, you got some pizza money on it. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But as far as us and as fans, if you're not putting any pizza money on it, the win's a win. So what I wanted to see today, Brandon, and I don't know how you feel about it, is I wanted to see how Ohio State will come out after a real emotional win against Notre Dame. It's a noon kickoff. It's a bit of a snoozer. You're playing a Sun Belt team conference from a Sun Belt team from the conference from the Sun Belt, and will Ohio State get out of the gate and start quick? That's what I wanted to see today. And so thoughts on that coming into the game? Did you have any worries about that, or same kind of thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had worries about, going from such an emotional high to getting ready for a noon game against Arkansas State. I mean, I don't care what school you are. That's a challenge from Alabama all the way down to whoever. It's a challenge. And so that was definitely my concern. Ryan Day has been preaching competitive stamina, for a while now, trying to get his guys to be consistent. And I think we saw a mixed bag today. So I won't go too far. I just wanted to initially respond to your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we'll cover it. I like to call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some of the things we'll have to hash out and talk about. So Ohio State comes in today. They win the toss again, defer, and Arkansas State takes over their first possession. I wanted to see, can this defense stay aggressive right out of the gate? And we did exactly what I was hoping we'd do: get a 3-and-out, and so we take over. After a good pump by Arkansas State on their own 4-yard line. And so I wanted to see what was Arkansas State going to do, how was Ohio State going to respond offensively. And right out of the gate, we go on a 41-yard run by Travion Henderson, and they score in 8 plays. And Marvin Harrison Jr. With his first of 3. I think he should have had 4, but we'll talk about that a little later on when it comes to the replay. But the quick strike offense that we wanted to see with Ohio State, and it's exactly what we wanted to see as far as getting out of the gate, the 3-and-out. You get the ball on offense, and we go right down the field doing what we like to do. 3.5-minute drive, 8 plays.
Yeah, definitely. And that definitely made me happy seeing that right out the gate, especially that big run by Trey Henderson. That's what I really wanted to see. But again, it's just the challenge with this offense is I'm looking at the stats right now, and I would have liked to see the running backs have a little more productivity. But we have such an awesome passing attack. It's just such a tough dynamic, especially depending on what the defense is showing you and giving you. But to your point, yes, out the gate, we came out aggressive. We ran the ball. The O-line controlled things, and I was very happy to see that out the gate.
And that's the thing I always like to stress too, is if you want to be talked about in the elite of the elites, when we're talking the Bamas, the Georgias, and teams like that, when you're playing a team like Arkansas State, who we know is overmatched. I mean, it really is, and you need to come out and show your strength right out of the gate and say, look, we're going to show you that we're men and this is how we do it here. And you make your statement right out of the gate. And that's what I was happy about as well. So go up 7-0, kick off to Arkansas State. And this is where we kind of get into the ugly thing. And I just want to get your thoughts. We had a PI on Denzel Burke. Denzel Burke, to me right now, just seems like he's struggling a little bit. There were a couple plays in the Notre Dame game. Now, granted, you got to give the quarterback from Notre Dame credit and the receiver credit. The kid made a great juggling catch in the Notre Dame game, and then it was another great pass. I always say a great pass beats great defense all the time. But today, some missed tackles, a couple PIs. He's just struggling out of the gate the first 2 games right now.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's disappointing to see because listen, in the offseason, we have so much expectations for not only the team but individual players. I mean, Burke had a great freshman year. So to see him struggle a little bit is concerning, but we don't want to overreact either. But yes, it's stuff that's I think is very fixable and you can clean up, but it's just like head scratcher stuff today. Like, Burke, what are you doing? Like, you know how to, you've done this. Like, where's your
Right.
technique? You don't have to do that. So I don't know if he's just in his own head, if he's just too excited, wants to try to make a big play that he's not being sound. I don't know, but it's not the Burke that we saw last year for most of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, is he thinking too much? You know what I mean? Because I always had this because I coached high school and college basketball. When you start thinking instead of just reacting, when you engage your brain, that's when things can go wrong for you. And so I don't know if he's thinking a lot, like you said, but as a freshman last year, and again, he came out with so much expectation as one of the lockdown corners, the next great corner at Ohio State. That's what he was being talked about as.
Right.
So the first 2 games, though, he has had a little bit of just some bumpy roads for him. But it's something that is correctable, as you stated. So, you just got to wait and let it keep playing out here these next couple games and see he'll get his feet underneath him and he'll get things going. So